Thank you so much.
And we're back.
We set out. Yes, we're back. We set out on a crazy plan to tell a duck hunter story inspired by the what was it, the saber-toothed tiger in your subconscious, and I think we did that. And it was lovely.
Is a thing that happened. Yes.
Before we move on from it, I like to hold a little bit of space to reflect, to say what we liked about it, because part of the heart of this project is that I want to keep doing more long form and study like what are good offers, what are good choices, what were good moments, right? And I think there are lots. And so we go around and we each say at least one thing that we're like, that was cool, right? Or there was something there that was hot, that was interesting. And so I want to say that something I thought was really cool was in the second act. Really, I feel like we got to know the quality, the character of the shady man more. Like with your entrance was like
that was a nasty old man.
But it fleshed out so, not to be too graphic, but it just fleshed him out so much. If that makes sense.
Literally, it happened. Yes.
I just felt like I knew him more, I guess, by the end of it, which was very satisfying. That's the first thing that comes to mind because it was like such a striking, wonderful choice. Yeah. So there are others that I might get to share. Caesar?
It kind of like subverted the trope of the old man in the cave, the wise old man in the cave.
Yeah, it did.
My favorite moment was when we didn't go to the obvious of, the crows like checking out this guy's eyes. It was actually an eclipse.
That it was an eclipse.
A permanent blindness eclipse.
And that we didn't go to it.
I kind of like the tree punchers too.
The tree punchers were great. They were so good. Oh my god! And I mean, they were a very even though we don't know exactly what the thing of the other group is. Like they were just sort of, they're just a group of people, just of cavefish of early or late humans, and the other group is like, we punch trees. That's what we do. Like they're very specific. It was fun as well. Oh man!
Yeah, the tree punchers were pretty reasonable.
Yeah, they're like, you could have just asked us nicely.
They're reasonable people. I like them.
I like the war advisor, the crow war advisor.
Yeah.
Going like, I'm really offended about you thinking about me. And like, he profusely apologizing, and then the old man and the crow just like, we're fucking with you.
Yeah, it's like nobody actually did.
Dude.
And the crow is totally useless. Like I could have seen that crow being played by like Gilbert Gottfried, just like kind of just there to be an asshole and then leave.
Yeah, like my job here is done.
I felt genuine fear. I didn't know if Oog was going to just be pummeled to death. Like I really wasn't sure where we were going. I was just like, okay, bye, Mr. Crow Man. Like it was like, I don't know what's happening here. But it was great.
And Oog trying to be all like manly, and his voice kept like, breaking.
It was hard to keep that up, but it's fun. It's a fun detail. I wonder what it'll read like to be changing your voice as the same character, but hopefully it'll be clear. But we'll see.
How about you, Charmika?
Yeah,
I do like that, like our main character, who's totally like this very 21st century femboy, who like
a soy boy.
Like, absolutely, right? Like, he never actually unambiguously kills or harms anyone. Like, he doesn't, like, even when he wants to, he can't, like, it's implied that he never killed the animals whose pelts he brought back, and he didn't harm or touch the tree punchers. Like, we have a protagonist
technically,
in a story about, war and hunting, who succeeds without doing either of those things. Right? So,
well, he barely and technically does not hurt anybody.
Exactly, barely and technically.
Until at the end, where like the group is starving, and he's given like weird instructions about what can't be killed, and it was just so fun to be like, mammoths are cute, and I was like, oh wait. These two have another deeper layer of sensibility, right? Like, and that's why I like added this thing of like, you inspired me. Like, you did these paintings. And then, because I just felt like that was an interesting way to resolve.
Yeah. The people
Yes,
who
you can hunt and like cute things at the same time.
It's totally fun. Yeah. It's a parable for all those delicate
we are deep
souls
and
out
meaningful at the offer. We always say that.
there.
Yes, we're
both
deep and meaningful. Both.
Yeah, dude.
We're both deep and meaningful. We can't be one without the other. You can't.
No. Our guests too. We only invite deep and meaningful people.
Speaking of our deep and wonderful guest, Charmika, you're great. I wish our time didn't overlap in Shanghai, so we haven't actually gotten to hang out, but I want to hang out with you more. You're so cool.
Yeah, I'm on the internet all the time.
Well, as we
So
all
am
are.
I.
So there was something you mentioned before we clicked the record button that I think you should share with our guest about an internet improv show that you made, and I want to hear about it. Tell me about it. What'd you do?
Yeah, so I was in. So Kurt ran this course with a number of different improv teachers from across the planet. Each week was a different teacher, and I was in that. And then we did an online show about 2 weeks ago,
Cool.
kind of marrying those different techniques because all the teachers are from all over the planet. And now we're thinking, because like right now, improv it hasn't really evolved much since the 80s, and now it's been forced to like I don't know if I say this, some like hardcore like improv fanatics are out there like, well, someone did this very specific thing, but from outside of the improv community, it kind of all looks the same, right? Like unless you're like a hyper improv nerd, a lot of it doesn't really look that different. But like a lot of this stuff that's happening now is, no matter who the fuck you are, it's very different, it's very new. And it's being like, it's really reinventing itself. So that's kind of what the process of improv is like. This is an example thereof, of like improv being used in a different medium, doing different, like very radically different stuff. So
Yeah, true. Totally.
Yeah.
Like it's
and
really
do whatever
interesting.
works.
yeah, exactly.
Which I think is the real heart of improv, is like, what is it that can work with, like this core thing that is just us, like we create it together. And that is, I think, the biggest departure point, because I sort of live with one foot also in the theater world as well. Like I am interested in devising, and that I think the big difference is that when you get into devising more, you leave behind like, what can we spontaneously do, and what can we do that spontaneously that will work? Because you can do an improvised play, as I think Kurt has done, where you do have a set, but like there's an improviser who's the set improviser who's like spontaneously doing stuff, right? Which is very different than this other thing. And so it's interesting to be like, the art form is like how to do stuff that works spontaneously and find new ways of doing this. That sounds really cool.
One of the first big shows I ever did with Kurt, like back in like 2015, maybe 14. I don't remember, something like that.
The Dark Ages.
Right. It was
Or the Bright Ages, I guess.
The bright.
Yeah, right. Yeah, definitely. We had a Star Wars themed show, and so each of us knew what our characters were going to be. I was the sort of AI robot character, which is to the surprise of no one. And we all did, we knew our characters, but not the arc the story was going to go on, but just the beats of the story. And that, like, I like those kind of themed improv shows like that, which is why, Zach and I later ended up doing Zelda-prov. So kind of similar kind of thing.
Very cool. And we're definitely heading in the direction of more themes, more genres here, as we've like played in a bunch of ways, because they are super helpful, right? Cesar and I we have lots of thoughts rolling around about like how to sort of keep tweaking and making the things just like make them work. And it's really cool that you've gotten to participate in our little version of that. And I'm super, super excited to hear your thoughts off air about it too. So we should wrap this up. How do people find you, Charmika? How do they, like, if someone wants to like know about you, know what you're doing, play your blockchain gambling thing, what's it? How do they? I mean, you don't have to do that.
Okay, yeah. So
no, I'm kidding.
Did you say block shame?
No,
block shame. Doing block shade over here. Damn. All right.
Damn, son.
Sorry. So you can find me
on block shade.
Right. I love it. No, you can find me on Twitter. Also, I'm sort of co-hosting on YouTube. I put the spiral off into a new YouTube channel as well. So hopefully the next time I'm on this show, I'll actually have the channel set up. But you'll find me either on Twitter or Instagram, and very soon on YouTube. So
very soon on YouTube. That sounds really cool. Yeah, you'll get me the details, and you'll be able to find them in the below of the
in the doobly-doo.
In the doobly-doos, we'll have Charmika's deets. So yeah, oh man, really cool stuff, Charmika. Thank you so much for making this wild, wacky duck hunter story, or whatever hunter story.
Mammoth hunter, yeah.
The hunter, the hunt for leadership. That's what we're all searching for.
Right.
Thank you very much for being a wonderful guest. I hope you liked it enough to come again.
Yeah, we would love to have you back on, because the first time is always crazy as we learn how to do this, and then we learn, and then we can deepen and build, and it's going to be great. We can't wait to have you back on. So
yeah, we are already pretty good, by the way, if I dare say so.
Yeah,
we're great. We're great.
Yeah, great. Just absolutely great.
So thank you so much. If you want to find out more about the offer and see more info about all of our guests, you should type in your little HTML URL board and look for
theoffercast.com. You can find us in the HTML URL boards.
And that is the technical term.